Hey, what's up, everybody? It's August 20th, day before the Great American Eclipse, and I just wanted to give you a quick update on where we're at with the garden here. I actually just got finished installing these new poles for the trellises. That's 3/4 inch EMT, 10-foot poles driven about foot and a half, sorry, maybe, foot and a half into the ground. Very rocky, clay-filled soil here, so it's hard to get anything down in there without digging a hole with a pickaxe first, but this pipe's thin enough to kind of drive through most of it, so I think they should be okay for now. Man, these plants are out of control. Probably partially my fault, just because I haven't been out here pruning them as aggressively maybe as I should have, but we'll take a closer look and see. I really just tried to get these things upright and some support, because after the rain that we had last week, there were some breaks in the branches. Some of them were bent, just looking really sad. So start here with the jalapeno actually, and the banana pepper, so we can see finally these banana pepper flowers are starting to produce some fruit for us, some peppers, and then we got just so many jalapenos. I don't even really like jalapenos, so I end up giving them to coworkers and such. I might pull one of these carrots too, just because pulled one last week and it looked like it was just about ready. We'll dig down, see what this looks like. These carrots, I don't really know if the soil was ideal for them or not, but yeah, we end up with, I think because of the shallow pots that I used, they grew and then kind of chunked out there, unfortunately. May have to rethink how I do the carrots next year. Maybe not start those inside and just sow the seeds directly into the soil, or just get bigger pots. I don't know, but they like that sandy soil where they can just spread out freely. The Romas here up front, these just are so dense. You can see right there, one of them snapped. So I had to come through yesterday and try to reinforce some of this, but ridiculous amount of tomatoes on here. And looks like they're getting pretty close too, a lot of those. And then in through the middle, there's another stalk in the back. The brandywine, again, it's one of these bends that I was telling you about right here. So I've attempted to kind of reinforce these a little bit. I may need to actually just tie that one up. But still got a lot of fruit on here and a lot more growth. So I mean, I'm letting some of these suckers continue to grow. I'm not pruning everything back, but I mean all the way up. Look, there's flowers. That's about as high as I can reach, and I'm 6'2". So this thing is just an absolute monster. The stem on it is beastly. Just the stalk is huge. Got a little bit of yellowing in the leaves, but this is minimal. A lot of the tomato plants that I've seen out there are just very yellowed, not looking too great. And so, I don't know, maybe I've just been really fortunate this year. but these heirlooms, these brandy wines, they take forever to ripen, very long time, and I don't really like to let them go too long on the branch. This whole fruit cluster, I'm gonna have to pull that off. That whole thing, look at that. Probably, it's almost like it just peeled itself off. That's where it was, right there. Well, hopefully that'll ripen a little bit off the vine. And I really want Kenna to get that. She will eat whatever she can. Right, Miss Kenna? Hanging out over where the watermelon was. Finally chopped that off. It came to about 20 pounds. It was starting to yellow. This is where I cut it, right here. It was starting to yellow on the top a lot, and I was getting kind of concerned. So, pulled that off. Here's that other Roma back here. Again, ton of fruit all the way up. Trying to train about 3 stalks per main stalk here. So we've got the 3 main stalks, and then as it goes up, I attempted to just do 1, 2, 3. Make sure it didn't get too dense. Those are a little bit easier to control than the others. The San Marzano, again, this thing is an absolute monster. So that main stalk there, you can see, is probably about an inch in diameter, and it goes up, and it's split out into far more than just 3 main stems. That's my fault for letting it get that way. Fortunately, I think we should be okay. I mean, good Lord. Just gonna let it go, kind of wild at this point. If I could go through and start thinning out a lot of these suckers and a lot of the intermediate growth here that's coming off, but I don't know. We're just gonna kind of see what happens. Again, a ton of tomatoes on here. I'm just shocked by how much is on this guy. And then we go over to the cherry tomato, which, just like all of the other ones, is absolutely thriving. This is one plant. Follow it up here. Into the soil there. Comes up and then splits. So there's a main split that goes off to the right and essentially feeds everything over here. So you can see, kind of hard to pick that up, but that splits into 2, and then many others. And then this guy over here splits down there where it's connected to that first trellis that I had, or that first pole, and then it just goes all the way up. Some of that stuff is tied directly to the main pole here in the corner, and then I just kind of have a little simple setup between each of the poles to kind of catch them as they start to fall or lean from side to side. I guess next year I'm gonna have to take this into consideration, hopefully get all this. This was, again, first year. I didn't really know what to expect, so I think next year I'll have all of this set up and ready to go. We'll be able to anticipate what's gonna happen with it a little bit better. In the other bed, I've kind of, the beans are not very good tasting, and they have the string in there, so it's kind of a pain to deal with those. And then the lima beans, I don't know, those guys just never really took off. But as I've stated earlier, I don't really know much about growing beans. I didn't really research it at all, so hopefully next year put a little bit more effort into that. But I do have some other beans here, the ones that I thought was going to die. They're much better. And I think that's about it for now. I'm just gonna let the broccoli maybe try to go to flower or seed. And got a bunch of clovers growing, looking pretty good. Take it easy, everybody.